morning, I'm Stephanie and I will talk about the introduction of this guide. It shows a guide to CE technical translation. The first edition as our choice to comment on, and it is written by Zhang Mengjie and Du Yaowen and is published by Aviation Industry Press in 1996. The purpose of this guide is to promote cultural communication of English in Chinese, as millions of people are using these two languages around the world. And around 1990s, China was developing unexpectedly, and there was a need for China to reach out to the globe, which is really important for a translator to deliver accurate meaning. This guide was published after reform and opening up strategy at China. During the period, China actively encouraged foreign and international cooperation to invest so China can have business with the outside and fulfill their goal to connect to the globe. And suddenly, Chinese economic and cultural status have been rapidly rising. So, in order to have business continually, global communication is essential for China at that time. Due to a need of global communication, certain meetings require professional translator. For example, sometimes China is responsible of holding academic conference or bilateral visits among countries. Therefore, translators need to acquire professional translation skills to translate and deliver the accurate meaning to the receiver. However, the authors believe that the Chinese translator might not be able to compete with others due to insufficient professionalism, such as the lack of knowledge of how to translate certain terminologies or concepts accurately. Therefore, they published this guide to help Chinese translators to reach international level and therefore to help China develop well in different aspects in the future.
I'm Nikki Chen Kalam, and I'm now going to talk about the importance of the text. And first of all, it facilitates the understanding of scientific terminology because it involves the formation of the terminology, telling us how it is formed, why it is written in that way, the structure of it, and also the sentence structure. It analyzes the sentence structure of why it is written in that way in English, and also the grammar. It used to talk about scientific language in English, so it helps Chinese reader to understand the the details of how scientific terminology and language is in English, which will help the readers a lot because the basic language of scientific language is English, so it will be helpful that they know the formation and everything about it. Also, the tags involves a broad sense of knowledge, a broad sense of scientific knowledge. It has 10 chapters, so it includes a lot of aspects in science, not only one aspect, but it involves a lot of aspects, so it is more comprehensive. For example, in chapter 2, it involves most of the concepts in English to Chinese scientific translation, so we Chinese readers like us can understand why it is translated like that, and may be helpful for their usage of scientific knowledge. It also includes the methods of translation and how different methods is used and why it should be used under what circumstances, because there's no right translating method, but you just have to depends on the situation, so it helps readers understand. And as for translators like us, we can understand what to translate, what way we should translate, because sometimes they have multiple translations. So with examples and circumstances explained like that in the text, we can understand and give the best translation. And for example, in the text, it mentioned that 选军运动 in Chinese has 4 translations in English, and it listed examples and sentences and definitions, so that you know what to translate, which translations to use under different circumstances. And it is also very practical, because it involves a lot of practical theories, and I've mentioned it has a lot of translation for example, one word, and it shows you how it is done and under what situation it should be done. So it is very practical, and it is very easy for us to understand it. And it includes a lot of difficult translation that we may not even know, because it is traditional Chinese. Like in the example, it may be difficult for us to translate, so it include this. And we have different formats of reference in the text, like letter and instruction, so we know not only the translation of some words, but the format we should follow in certain text type. The text also give precise and understandable translating method. For example, the way of listing in English, there are 5 ways, and it describes the rules of listing. Like for 一二三, it should be both. It should be one. It should be both brackets, but not only just one bracket. So it is precise to this point, and so it is a very good example, because scientific translation should be precise. And also it is very understandable, because it's easy to understand, to use, and to look for. Like the content page is clear, you have the main title and subtitle, and it is very easy to look for certain part. And the structure is also very clear. For example, when you have full translation for one word, it is listed in a way that is very clear. You know the first one, you see the second one, and it is helpful to the readers. Also, it uses some pictures and diagrams, so it simplifies the things, especially helpful for scientific translation, because sometimes the concepts are quite difficult to understand. And for comment, to conclude, it is very useful, practical, understandable, and accurate. But given that the time is 1990s, we have some in the world. We have some newly developed technology, so it can include some more thing about the new technology. So to prepare the readers and to prepare the general public of China for the new technology. That's the end of our presentation. Thank you.